Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It's Thursday, July 19th, the year 2018. Let's talk trading. Trading like Cool Hand Luke Part 2. Um, One of the traders out there left a comment about getting your mind right. It's one of the quotes out of Cool Hand Luke. And I think maybe he kind of left it as a joke, but there's so much truth to that. In trading, you have got to get your mind right. In fact, that is probably the most important facet of trading is having your mind right. Because somebody might say, well, but what about that money management? You always say that's like important. But you see, if your mind's right, you're going to do the money management. But you could do money management, but your mind might not be right about other things. So, yeah, I'm going to have to thank you. I usually don't call people out by name. I mean, if you want to see who put the comment, you can go and look at yesterday's video. But unless I really know the person well and, know that they won't be upset, I just don't like pointing people out because not everybody likes to, kind of be in the spotlight, even if it's just for, 15 nanoseconds. So anyway, thanks again because it's just so important getting your mind right. I mean, if you're not in the right state of mind, trading is probably going to reflect it. And part of being in the right state of mind is realizing that trading is a process. And since trading is a process, you can build systems around trading. And I don't mean indicators and EAs and robots. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about more like a discipline that you follow. You can think of it maybe like karate. In fact, some of my old trading videos, I talk about black belt trading, where, there's just only about 4, 5, 6 different moves you have to master. And then that's all you need. I mean, it's like in black belt, I believe there's 6 different kicks or punches that you need to master, and that's it. But you have to master them. When you execute that kick or punch, your gi snaps. Just so you know, I took karate back in college. Wasn't that good at it, but I was good enough. So nobody bothers me. If you ever remember that commercial, boy, am I dating myself. That was way back in the 70s. So, anyhow, traders, you've got to get your mind right. I mean, you can go through some of my videos, watch some of the older ones, and I talk about different aspects of getting your mind right. And I think one of the big ones is just letting go of all those myths out there, trading myths. I saw something came across in my email yesterday. I have to laugh. There's these guys out there, and they were talking about, the most important thing, momentum. But then if you go back and you review some of what they put out, the most important thing, RSI. it's, some people are still out there searching, and there's, we're all on the path. Some are further along than others. But I just find it amusing how people try to convince, others, about these squiggly lines. I mean, I had a trader ask me something about stock fetcher, and since most of you guys watching are probably Forex, back when I started trading stocks, and they were asking me about the DMA 28 shifted, 14 bars, where you take the DMA 28 number and you move it from 14 bars ago and you plot it today. And it's just like, God, there's just so many people, caught up in this stuff. It's just lunacy. But you know what? If it works for you, so be it. You've got to find, as a trader, you have to find your own way. And if a squiggly works for you, my opinion of you is really none of your business. So, you shouldn't be listening to me or anybody else. Really shouldn't when it comes to, you doing what you do. You need to do what you do. And if it doesn't work, then you need to find out or find something that does work or figure out why what you're doing isn't working for you because it seems like it's working for other people. But then again, your focus needs to be on you. You got to get your mind right and get your mind on you and forget what the other people are doing. I mean, it's kind of like bowling or golf, these individual sports like that. It's you against the pins or you against, the green. You don't worry about what the other guy's score is or what they're doing or what clubs they're using or what ball. No, you focus on you. You put up the best score you can. If you do that, focus on you and forget about what the other person, if they got a strike or not. You just don't even let that enter your mind. You focus on you, what your mark is on the lane. How your ball is reacting to the changing lane conditions. You just don't worry about other people, and trading's the same way. But most people, because of how we're wired, how we've evolved, we have that tendency to take the focus off what we're doing and look over the fence or over somebody's shoulder and see what they're doing. We're concerned about, we're going through that cafeteria line and maybe somebody else got a bigger piece of pizza or slice of bread or, got a bigger slice of meatloaf. Don't worry about what that you got some that eat what's on your plate. But we all do it. I know some of you are probably just cracking up right now because I find it amusing too. But I mean, you just have to learn to laugh at yourself and see the folly of your behavior sometime. It's just absolutely crazy. You just have to laugh. So, get your mind right. And part of having your mind right is money and risk management every day. And as we can see, the yen 112.90. I think yesterday around this time it was about 112.75. I remember correctly, but we can see what it's done. Once again, if you had taken that long trade and you just sit there and ride it, I mean, you'd be up, 197 pips for the month. And that's not bad. I mean, 197 pips. Today's the 19th. And let's see, if we take out the 4th, we've had 13 trading days. So that's over 100 pips a day on one simple trade. And you can see here on the week, we had a nice breakout. And so we're 27 pips off the current high. We're 11 pips above. So right there, it's about 37 pips. Had you taken that trade, you could have collected 37 pips for the week. And we're in the 4th day of the week. So once again, that wouldn't have been too bad. Daily, you see we had a small breakout back into the wick zone. Actually, you can see we had an outside bar. We're above yesterday's high, and the low is below yesterday's low. We were above. Price hit outside bar. So for those of you who study those candlesticks, you know what that means. Range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 over 100, but the yen slightly anemic with only 52 pips. Looking at the buy zone, there we have a something's interesting here. Let me take a look here. Back to 1 hour. Okay. Yesterday's pivot was missed, but you see, here's the pivot. We hit the pivot. That was yesterday's pivot. It got filled. So we had a short for a win. We had a long for a win. And right now, we're in the buy zone, but we've got a red 1 hour candle. So we really shouldn't be taking that trade at the moment, especially if you're new to that. And you can see here what happened in the rat zone. Bring up the hour. Well, actually, we do 15 minutes. I need to pull it back. So you can see here we dipped in the rat zone. We didn't have a rat reversal on M15, but once again, price doesn't usually wind up in the rat zone. About, 1 out of 3 times it does. But you can see there was a little profit to be made. Not bad. Took out the pivot. There was yesterday's pivot. Filled that one. You can see right there. It was missed yesterday. But we filled it today. So we still have I believe the 12th and the 10th. These 2 pivots have still been missed. Okay, here we go again. 3 ball at the bottom, green at the line, profit. 3 ball at the top, red at the line, profit. Get your mind right. You find something that works, and you just keep doing it over and over. And hopefully it gets boring. You sit down in front of the screen, you bring up your trading platform, you sit there and you wait. You see your setup happen, you see a 3 ball, and so you wait and you wait, and it finally hits here. You enter the trade, and you come down here, and you see you could have made, no, let's just do it this way. So here to here looks like about 17 pips. Let's say you make 15 pips over somewhere between 1 and 2 hours. And maybe you call it a day, 17 pips. I don't know, a dime a pip, $1.70, dollar a pip, $17. $10 a pip, 170. I don't know what level you're trading at, but that's your business. You don't have to tell me. The part of getting your mind right is knowing what's your business and what's not your business, and focusing on your business and keeping your attention off of other people's business. And along with that, that part of that is having that serenity. What can you control and change, and what can't you control and change? And having the wisdom to know the difference. There's certain things you can control: when you enter the trade, when you exit, which direction, your position size, all within your control. What's not in your control? What the next tick does. Not in your control. The next 20 ticks is not in your control. None of it's in your control. So what happens after you put that trade on, for the most part, is not in your control. You can control when you exit, but you can't control if it's a profit or a loss. You can control how much you lose, but you can't really control how much you win. You have no control over that. None. Zero. Zilch. 5 lines. I won't even repeat myself today. You guys know what happened when price hits the line. And the wick zone, huge wicks. So price will probably wind up in them. I mean, when you see this, you can see that wick zone's probably not happening. Got a couple of little breakouts there. But the holo zone, still good to go. So, fellow traders, I'm just going to skip to the end. You guys know what's coming. It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. drain the banks.